What are signs a guy hasn't matured? A sign that anyone hasn't matured is not being willing to apologize when they realize that they made a mistake and caused damage, especially to someone else's emotions. Blatant disregard for others while saying others are inconsiderate. Has a meltdown when asked to do basic chores because he doesn't like doing them and then threatens to move out because of this. Like, please fricking do you, child. He doesn't acknowledge and or take responsibility for his actions and or the consequences. Won't obviously apologize for it. Honestly, when he acts like a toddler, do small inconveniences make him throw a temper tantrum? Does he punch walls and hit stuff? Does he get upset when he doesn't get his way? If you can imagine him as a toddler, he's a weenie and needs to grow up. Stonewalling and refusing to have a mature conversation about problems in the relationship. I knew my ex hadn't matured when I told him I thought we should try saving money to move into a better apartment. I said I was going to cancel my gym membership, shop for cheaper groceries, take my lunch to work, instead of buying my food, and reduce her Netflix account to one screen, instead of two. I suggested he maybe choose a gaming membership to cancel. He had 3. Bring his lunch to work, and maybe come up with a drink rotation when him and his friends got together, instead of him always buying the drinks. He got angry and said I was a killjoy and that there was nothing wrong with our apartment. Our apartment still used electric coils in the wall to heat the place and 2 of them smoked when you turn them on. The stove routinely caught fire. There was a significant roach problem, and the apartment downstairs was broken into multiple times. I had found a really nice split home, $4.80 more per month in a quieter part of town, and it was being privately let by a very nice older woman who moved out when her husband went into a care home. I knew then that he would never grow up if he couldn't make those small sacrifices. Inability to admit they're wrong, condescending attitude, thinks are the fricking main character, proceeds to belittle others when they don't have any other arguments. Yes, sounds about right. Kind of sounds like Reddit sometimes, to be honest. General narcissism, treating people as lesser than them, talking over/interrupting others, overvaluing their own opinions to the point of arrogance, trivializing others' accomplishments or skills, escalating confrontations with family or friends that they treat like shit while acting completely friendly around people that they don't know, to paint themselves as the good guy, self-centeredness, acting personally attacked when you say no or call them out for treating you badly, lack of common courtesy for those around them, and not having the ability to understand or respect the fact that they would be upset if they were treated the way they're currently treating you, so they're in the wrong. General ability to empathize can be a good gauge of this usually, but the hard thing is that they'll be on their best behavior to lure you in. Brags about his bed count, dong size, sexual prowess, public or private settings. I don't think it matters. It's tacky as frick, and 99% of the time is bullshit. If you actually do have a 9-inch dong, short of you pulling it out and slapping it on the table for all to see, no one is going to believe you, so just keep it to yourself and whoever is in your bed. If they get offended when you communicate how you want them to please you. Not treating others with respect. Sadly, I've met men quite a bit older than me who don't respect me, because they don't think I have anything to offer them. The best men in my life respect others based on their actions, not on their status. Blames the people around him for the consequences of his own actions. I've done plenty of that in my life, and it's a major sign of growth when you start to take accountability on your own terms, instead of when someone calls you out. Needed help paying bills, utility, internet, etc., but bought a gaming chair, a flat-screen TV, a boxing bar, a PS5 and a buttload of testosterone pills. Really struggled with priorities. Today I learned I'm pretty damn mature thanks Reddit. I have a bed frame. Cares way too much about how much he or someone else can drink. Cares way too much about who he or someone else is having sex with. Uses either of the above to puff himself up or put down others. Makes fun of other guys for ordering or drinking girly drinks. Sees showing emotions or asking for help as a weakness. He doesn't understand how to not stop talking about being honey. Not taking responsibility for any breakdown in relationships. Always blaming the partners, claiming they are mentally ill. Having absolutely no input into their child's life, but thinking they're the best dad. because they know their kid's name, living with their mom till mid-40s, never doing any housework and expecting it all on a platter. These are just some of the things my brother-in-law has done repeatedly over the past 25 years, and more. The one which got my goat the month back was me inviting him to Christmas dinner, as he'd split from his girlfriend who has mental health issues apparently. She doesn't. She's just fed up of his shoot. Anyway, roll on a weekend he calls my husband to ask if he can come with a girlfriend, her 2 kids, his 30-odd-year-old son, who he never sees, and his new girlfriend. No, you can't. I already have 11 people. Organize your own family dinner, you pouncing twat. Well, this goes for anyone. The words don't match their actions. This person is either pleasing or manipulating you, or a little of both, but they don't know themselves well enough to be there with you authentically, and they will flee in one way or another when you will try to reach beyond the surface. Tantrums. When they get grumpy because you want to do something, watch a video games, Shreks, cook, etc. When he won't admit he is wrong or accept responsibility for his actions. He seems cool when you are 18, but you find him irritating and idiotic when you are 21. And the guy was 31 when you were 18 and happens to be besties with your immature 20-year-old brother. I'm in this situation right now. Can't cook, can't clean, basic housework, sweep, vac the floor, wipe down surfaces, do laundry including putting away clothes, take out trash, including owning a trash can, have a bank account, pays bills. I'm not talking immaculate, but presentable. This was me until my mid-30s. I'm better now in most of these categories except clutter, which just needs to be called every now and then. When he overly spends money just to seem rich to the people around him, including strangers. Too much horn talk. There's such a thing as too much horn talk, and a feller ought to know about it. Failure to understand the concept they may not be right, or more so that their opinion on a matter, especially in a relationship, isn't the only one, and that they need to take a step back and assess from a viewpoint outside their own. I see it with a lot of men I work with, the "she's crazy, but I'm perfectly sane" attitude. One of my friends was seeing this guy who was almost 30, and he would text her, "Babe, I'm hungry," whenever he was hungry. It stuck with me, because she put up with it for the Shreks. I couldn't understand how it wasn't the biggest turn-off. Now my boyfriend says it like that sometimes just to make me cringe. He's too firm to fully bite through, hasn't changed color, and still has an undeveloped or sour taste. Dirty, unchanged sheets. Basically, if they can't do the bare minimum with house cleaning and hygiene. Can't keep a job, won't pay bills, gets jealous way too easily. Can't keep their underwear clean in the course of the day, to name a few. I'm a therapist and talk about this a lot with clients. 3 rules to be considered mature. Don't be a dong. Own your shoot. You're not always right, so be willing to question yourself. They actually think they can buy girlfriends. I'm not for sale. A man who views the world the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. Muhammad Ali. If he cannot have a conversation about something, he will mock out of self-defense and inadequacy, especially if he is being seen or in public. This will also be followed by the head tilting back. Maybe he wants you to check the back of his sinus cavity and get louder. The mentality of him louder than you saw a win based around having no reason or point to be made. He might as well just stand there and say, "I'm dumb as spit and can't even think of or repeat something I have heard before." Unable to admit being wrong and growing from that fact. Being confidently incorrect. My Bill often makes decisions devoid of any facts or research, basing everything on gut feeling. When my wife or I gently push back on potentially considering a different course of action, he just triples down on why his method is better, even when given evidence to the contrary. He has to involve his mother in any decision, no matter how minor. Unable to accept that someone younger may be smarter or more qualified. A willingness to learn from someone younger is the sign of a confident adult. Sadly, many men grow old and die without gaining this quality. They do not understand that other people change. They still view them as the same person they knew then. If they can't see that others have grown up, it's a dead giveaway that they haven't. Mommy's boys. They are freaking dangerous. I was with this fella that was saying how his mom is overprotective and told me an anecdote about how he wanted to learn to rollerblade, so he got the skates and all the protective equipment and started to learn, and his mom got super worried and didn't want him to get hurt, and over time eventually talked him out of learning. I told him the appropriate response is to say, "If you mom, I'm going to learn this," and do it anyway. I thought this happened when he was 14, maybe 16, tops 29. He was 29 when his mom talked him out of rollerblading. This is how I found out what a mommy's boy he was. He also never learned how to drive and expected his mom to ferry him everywhere. Yes? Speaking from experience, I used to know a guy who said that seriousness equals sadness. He legitimately got mad at me because I was a serious person and said, "I don't want to be sad every day like you." And I asked him to be serious for a moment. What's next? Paying rent with Monopoly money? I still draw dongs on things, whilst rapidly approaching 40. If he insists on getting wasted out of his mind every single weekend and can't have fun without a pub being involved, I like going for a beer, but not everything is about the pub and drinking. He worries about what other people think about him and does not engage in things he enjoys because he wants to fit in. Getting engaged with no clear intentions on actually planning for the wedding. The indefinitely engaged guys just string women along.